Hey folks, how's it going? It's day 4. Wow, 4 days in a row. We just keep rolling on here, right? So I want to talk today a little bit more about automation. Really start getting into the meat of it a little bit more. And before we do that, I just want to kind of come in here. And as you come in, I see that there's a couple of people already live in here. Go ahead, leave a comment or like. Just let me know where you're coming from. How's it going, Alex? I'm just gonna go into Facebook and make sure we're live and share. I assume we're live because people are here. I just want to share out this link. If you think that people would be interested in this, definitely share it. Bring more people in here. I'd love to be able to talk a little bit about it and then have a Q&A at the end. Um, all right, so here we go. Looks like we are live. So the first 3 days were really about building up that foundation, right? We talked in day 1 about your client and your solution. Day 2, we kind of summed that up. Oops, I got myself over here. Whew. All right, that was a little weird. I saw myself flashing around. Day 1, we talked about, what was it? We talked about, how's it going, Ben? Welcome. Definitely leave any comments, thoughts, concerns, questions, whatever. Any feedback you want to know, I'm here. So again, just a quick recap. Day 1 was all about defining your ideal client and your solution. Day 2 was wrapping that all up with a nice bow called your UVP. Then yesterday we talked about your rate and how you can compare yourself to the ROI of the client instead of those in your industry. Today, we're going to talk about that number 1 tool that you need for your business, right? We're going to start getting into that automation, all those 22 ways of that, building that automation inside of your freelance business. And that is the number 1 tool that if there was a gun held to your head and you had to decide what tool to use in your business, this is the tool that you need. It's an email platform, right? Probably not a big surprise in me saying that, but look, I know. Oh, thanks, Bern. I appreciate the share. Great, great. I love it. Definitely watch the replay later. I'd love to hear your comments on it. I know you got, a bunch of awesome content on that as well. So, no, Ben. Hey, I'm a Tool. I know that. So I like Tool, the band. Yeah. But anyway, so email platform, right? And this ties into email automation as well, right? Setting up a proper email system will allow you to be able to have send clients and leads effective and efficient emails, right? So really that allows you to know that they're getting away that information, but it also acts as a part of your sales team. Right? And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that here in a second. So here's the thing. When I started freelancing, I did everything out of my inbox, Sorry about that. Cat scratching on the chair. I'm standing up, cat goes and scratches on the chair. So I didn't start with an email platform. It wasn't, I just didn't know what to do with it, right? I'm your investor, Alex. I'm going to hold you to things. So the thing is like I would send out emails to potential sales, and then a couple of weeks later I would need a similar email. So I have to go back into my sent box, look for certain keywords. I got really good at using Gmail filters, but that's really no way to process your sales, right? No way to really build an effective business, especially that sales process. So when you have an email platform, you can do really two things, right? You can send one-off emails. They're often called broadcast emails. Or you could send out campaigns. And these are usually just a sequence of emails. Now, these, when you have an email platform and you have these campaigns and broadcasts, you already have that library of emails, right? These are repeatable emails that you can always send over and over and over again, right? So a lot of people think email platforms is, oh, I need an email list, right? You don't need an email list to have an email platform. And that platform could be MailChimp, it could be Drip, Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, and so on. Just whatever it is, you need this platform. Choose one that's going to work for you. I personally use Drip, and that's really for what works best for me in my business. But whatever works for you, choose it and go with it, right? You want that library of emails, those repeatable emails. You can have emails for leads, right? Lead nurturing. We always get excited when that new project potentially comes to our desk, right? And we want to cater to them. We want to nurture that lead. We want to kind of show off that we know what we're talking about, right? If you set up a bunch of emails and send them off to a lead, right? The next time a lead comes in, you now have those library of emails that all you need to do is tag somebody as a lead, drop them into that campaign, and boom, away. All of those emails go right out with them. You don't have to craft these emails again. And that brings me to my second point, right? We all love tools, right? Email platforms allow you to tag or earmark certain subscribers with a certain word or category or a list or whatever it might be, right? By tagging those subscribers, essentially, that email address, you can perform certain actions on that. And here's where things get a little better too, right? You now know, because they are tagged and they are tracked based on the emails that you send to them, how much interaction they have with you. Are they opening your emails? Better yet, are they clicking through to the links that you're sending them, right? You can start elevating them in your business with like what they call lead scores, right? And you can get very technical in these kind of things, but really what it boils down to is I tag people high interest, right? And I tag them with my services so that when they come into my business, I tag them as a lead and what service they're interested in. And if they start reading some things, then I just tag them with high interest, literally high interest, those two words. So it's not complicated. You don't have to overly think this. The last thing that I wanted to bring to you is that it allows your business to have an asset, right? So here's the thing. If you're doing email out of your inbox, right, and let's say you have Gmail, right, you kind of have an idea in your head who and what you're dealing with as far as sending emails go, but you don't necessarily have that nice, concise list, right? Having an email platform to basically collate that list for you, now you have an asset to the business, right? These are your leads, these are your clients, these are your past clients, and so on, right? It also elevates your level of professionalism as well, because here's the thing. A lead comes in, and the reason why I don't think that an email is any different from one person to the other, right? Well, step back. I don't think an email coming from an email platform or someone's inbox is really any level of professionalism or has any difference there. However, when you tag somebody as a lead and you start nurturing that lead, it looks like you know what you're doing, right? I know a lot of us suffer from imposter syndrome so that we don't, we think that we're not experts or we don't know something or we shouldn't be talking about something. Well, here's the thing. You are an expert. So you know what you're talking about, even if you just send 3 emails out to a lead or even an onboarding sequence to a brand new client, right? And how you work with them and stuff like that, setting their expectations. It elevates you above everyone else, right? Because immediately they're getting these instant emails as soon as they interact with you and something happens, right? They know that you're not crafting it because as soon as they sign in, you get an email, right? So there's that, right? But they know that you've already thought through, you've identified them as your ideal client, and you have that solution that they need, right? So that's why it elevates your level of professionalism. So again, I would love to hear anybody's questions. We have a few people on live, so go ahead, jump in, ask any questions you want, whether or not it is why I choose Drip, why email is important, any questions that you might have. I'd love to be able to answer them to you. And just as, I don't know, for me, a little backstory on this is that I never believed in that, right? In an email platform. And sorry about that. I don't know if you heard that, but that was my cat right below me. Obviously, I'm talking. I keep throwing him off the chair, so he's annoyed. Why did I choose Drip? Well, I chose Drip for a couple of reasons, Matt. And the first reason was that before I was using MailChimp, and it was great. However, it didn't give me the level of segmentation that I really wanted. I wanted to be able to tag people when they did certain actions. I wanted to create some sort of automation based around their level of interaction with me. So this way, like I said before, was that I would tag somebody immediately as a lead and whatever service they were interested in. Now, based around the number of clicks and what they clicked on through those lead nurturing campaigns, I wanted to elevate them into a high interest nurturing campaign. Right? So MailChimp, I know that has that automated type stuff and you have to pay for it there. Drip has visual workflows and metrics and things like that. And Drip's API is so powerful. So that for me as a developer, the API is like, it's like handing somebody the key to the kingdom, right? So that's why I chose Drip, because it had more of the power that I wanted, and so that I could build the flexibility. And essentially, I use Drip as my CRM, right? I don't have a conventional CRM. Basically, all I need is your name and email address, and then I'll start gathering up the stuff. What you're interested in, what you're reading on my site, those kind of things. Anything I don't like about Drip, and does it extend well via Zapier? Well, the second question, Zapier, it does integrate with Zapier very, very well, right? So, that for me, it wasn't in place when I started there 2 years ago, but it's extremely powerful, nice and easy to use, and I'll be honest, I haven't used much by way of Zapier recipes. The one thing that I do use is I link in Calendly to it, right? So Drip has an integration with Calendly now as well, but in the past what I did was basically if somebody scheduled a link in Calendly, linked it into Zapier to my Drip account to send out the reminder emails that we were going to have a call. The thing that I don't necessarily like about Drip, I think their reporting could be better. It's not that it's not there. It's sometimes clunky to get to it, right? So for me, I would love to be able to group up like a range of broadcast emails, like let's say the last 5 emails that I sent out, and see what the open rate was, right? or see what the clicks were. But you can only do it like broadcast by broadcast, and I know why that is, but it would be nice that those kind of things were in place. But as far as functionality goes, I haven't seen any sort of stumbling blocks, and the visual workflows, and I mean, those things are so powerful, Matthew. If you want to check that out, definitely take a look at it. So Ben says, now I'm 99% sure I'm going to use Drip because you're a developer too, and it's free up to 100 contacts. Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you don't have a list, start with Drip. It's free, right? And you get full automation features. So I mean, it sounds like I'm selling Drip and all that. I have no affiliation. I mean, I'm an affiliate of Drip, but there's not, they're not paying me to say this. They're not sponsoring this Facebook Live, nothing like that. But yeah, it's just a fantastic tool that I've integrated well in my business and been able to save hours of time from me doing manual kind of stuff. So that's that. Yeah, go ahead, test it out on a new project. I know, I was in Philly last week. Matt, we met down there, but I was talking with other people, and they had existing, email platforms that they were using, but in talking with them, they were, thinking about elevating that, right? They were looking at Infusionsoft, or they were looking at Entreport, right? So I suggested Drip, and people were like, oh, you know what? It's free for 100 contacts. I'm gonna give that a go, a couple of tries, and see, right? So Ben says, it was my issue with MailChimp. You cannot use automation unless you pay, right? And yeah, I mean, for me, MailChimp is like mass email. I mean, that's what they're good at, and that's what they've always been good at. The automation kind of stuff, that's always been for Infusionsoft, right? Entreport has some of that stuff. ActiveCampaign is starting to follow suit inside of the way that MailChimp does it too. I think you have to pay for it, but Drip allows you to do those things right out of the gate. So that's why for me, if somebody asks, I just say it's a no-brainer to give it a go. It's free, so as long as you keep it under 100 contacts. Yeah, A. Weber. I've heard a lot of people hitting walls with that lately. I guess it's just, I don't know, maybe they aren't going further with it. I'm not sure. So yeah, so I would, again, setting up an email system, it's really simple, as we've kind of outlined here. It allows you to have that repeatable library of emails. It allows you to start tagging people and start customizing their experience in your business that they have. And it builds that level of professionalism inside of your business so that you now basically have an asset, right? You have that client list, whether that's leads, clients, or past clients. So I would love for you guys to jump into the Sustainable Freelancer Facebook group, and you can find that at res.com/Facebook, and just click on which email platform you are currently using or not using. And if you are using one, or actually if you're not using one, let's put it this way. If you're not using one, I would love for you to comment in there and explain why or what's stopping you, right? So thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow. It's your time to feast.